Welcome to another episode of More Than Rust. Today we're once again working on the Rover, who have yet to pick up the Celeste, and to be honest, now starting that I might as well continue. So, last episode we changed the clutch. Massive long episode for just changing the clutch, but yeah, Rovers be what Rovers be. This episode we're going to focus more on the radiator, and more importantly, making this bottom fitting here the same size as this top fitting. I have a plan of how to do this, but I have no idea if it's going to actually work. So best if I try and see what happens. If going through this I have time, I'm going to look at doing mounting brackets onto the car and obviously fitting the radiator. Also, before I go any further, I had a guy ask me about this crossmember being cut out of the car. It wasn't just taken out. I know you can to get the engine out of these without taking the crossbar out, isn't it? Iron, wire, don't wreck the car, stuff like that. It was mostly taken out because when we were building this car and this engine, we had a lot of stuff that we wanted to mock up, try, and the engine came in and out probably about 20 or 30 times. At that point, it's just quicker to remove this crossbar and keep the engine angle a lot lower. Also means the car can stay quite high off the ground, you can actually work around it as well. So one of the main mods that we did to this is actually fit an overhauler out of an under Discovery. Because the front dress on this engine, if no one's actually noticed, is a bit quirky. There's actually a Disco 1 setup, fluid distributor, water pump, alternator the lot. But the bonus of this means I can run, say, a Disco 1 overhauler, which is a full width overhauler that basically sits quite nicely behind the disc wheel here, and helps keep, it at a little bit more manageable temperatures. So yeah, that's why this crossbar is removed purely for practice. It's actually got screws now holding it on at the tops and obviously the 2 points. Yeah, work for me. Right, onto the radiator. Okay, so this is mostly an experiment more than anything else. I could take this to an engineer shop I know of and get them just to lock this pipe off and fit a smaller pipe matching the inlet size. What I'm going to try and do before I do go that route is to split this pipe vertically and then take a section out of it and try and close it up with a pair of hose clamps. Once I've done that, I've got some aluminium brazing rods that I'm going to attempt to obviously fill up the gaps that are left behind. Whether this will work or not, I don't actually know. I've never tried it. I never even tried the brazing rods. But while I have a radiator and this has to happen anyway, one way or another, say worst to worst, we take it to an engineer shop, they lock the whole fitting off and refit the new fitting in there. So I don't lose anything by trying it. And something to try. Always fun. Right, best I get something out to cut through this with. Probably the grinder, because grinders and sitting discs are amazing. So now I've made my vertical cut into this piece, this one here. I've now got to cut most of the way around this, not all the way because obviously it'll fall off. I don't really want that. I want this piece to be attached somewhere, so I just brace back on again. If it falls off, and I just have to make it a separate piece, fit it back on there, fully brace it, but with it pre-attached it helps. So, let's see how badly this goes. Well, that's put a few holes in it. It might leak now. Right, now I need to work out how much I need to take out of this to make it the same size as the other one. Time to do some maths. So I don't know how well this is showing up on camera, but roughly where this vertical line here is where I need to cut out. So I need to lose this much length to go down to the same size fitting as the intake. This bit of old sandpaper has been cut down to the right size to go round the inlet neck. So wrap around this one, it gets to about there. I'm doing a little bit extra on this, A for the thickness of the cutting disc, and B because I don't mind it being a little bit tight. I just don't want it to be loose, because I have the whole issue backwards, which don't help me. Alright, more grinder time. Note to self, after grinding, it's going to be hot. My finger now hurts. Right, so now you can see there really is a big gap here. The plan is to use a pair of hose clamps to tighten up on that to close up the gap. I say that's the plan. I only really have one good hose clamp. So, get it on there, close it up and see where it all sits. I'm going to do this so the clampy part is where I've left the metal together. The original plan is to braze the bottom edge first. That's why I hope this hose clamp is like round, not oblong. It seems to be doing okay. It's not as round as I want it, so I may try squashing it a bit. Please bear with. Right, well, she ain't perfect, but I was about to say the hose now fits over, but it seems to not want to. That does. Might see if I can lose a teeny bit more. Famous last words they are. Okay, as you can now see, I can just about squeeze this over the head of this, which means it's probably about right. I just need to clean up the inside of it so I can clamp it up nice and tight, braze up the side, and should be good to go. It's getting there, which is good because, you know, I like it when a project works. And I don't often work with aluminium, so that was planned. Totally. So now you know how well this goes, or if this video ever makes it onto YouTube. So, next plan, braze up this gap. This one here may be a bit of a change to bridge, just due to the fact it's quite big. But again, hopefully it should be bridgeable. If not, I may have to slit this, fold it all in a bit, and, you know, feather it in. But hopefully I can just do it by filling out the gap. Watch carefully as I eat those words. So I'm going to start this video by saying I've never actually used this before, so let's see how this goes. Like I said, first time doing this was definitely an experiment. Me trying to braze up that gap wasn't working. As I tried twice and managed to just basically melt it into the radiator. So, my next plan with this is I've now cut the whole fitting off. I've brazed it together loosely so it stays shaped, and then wedged it inside of the other fitting. So hopefully now I can braze the outer edge and maybe have more luck with it. I'm not holding out too much hope because there's still a fair gap around it, but I will see what I can do and we'll go from there. I love experimenting with these things. Like I say, I've still got the option of lopping the whole fitting off and refitting it with the right size, but I'll do that if it comes to it. Not before. So, now it's all cooled down, I've test fitted the hose, and apart from it being a touch on the snug side, it fits, which is a lot more what we do with the visual fitting, because it's almost the same size as the visual fitting. So that's hopefully sorted the lower hose. The upper hose I'm hoping will just fit on ish. Bit of slight persuasion may be required, but it should just fit on. And the radiator is about ready to go back in. Once I've built up some brackets for it, because right now it sort of sits and hopes to work. Might go try and drop back in and see what everything hits. Just for the radiator, providing it fits here, I guess I do a pair of pliers over here to push it back at 10mm. It physically fits and captures the hood. Also my lower hose is on as well as my upper hose. This hose is probably going to change because A, it goes uphill and I don't like that. And B, my plan is to swap swap the rocker covers over, but either for some earlier ones or just swap these side to side to give me basically the fillers and the breather points at the back. It gives another way of any top hose I try and put on this. That will work out some other top hose solution that isn't going through the bonnet to come back down again. So now the hose is basically been planned. Measuring this hose to be a bit of a part store fun job. Find a couple of lengths of copper pipe to join it together and bob your uncle. Okay, the lower hose now fits, which is lovely. I will be double checking that, that one out again. So it hasn't moved, twisted or cracked anywhere. If it has, we sort it back up again. So now, what's that fun stuff? I'm making some brackets for this. As much as, it won't move right now, I have a feeling I'm doing 100 miles an hour this thing, on a close course of course, it may try and run away. So, that's the next challenge. So after basically a day of brazing, cutting, tweaking, adjusting, and every other type of thing. The radiator is now actually sitting in the car. I have put mounts on both sides. The one on this side is attached to the original radiator mount. The radiator mount on this side unfortunately to be removed when this radiator can actually fix the thickness of it. So I've actually just put a flat plate on it and it will be changed or bolted to this chassis mount. The front here I have angled for this reason of both clearing the radiator gap as well as fitting my two 10-inch fans in front of it. They will also need a slight tweak to get to sit together what happens with, because it's actually about 30 mil too wide, those two fans for the core. It's a minor issue, just trim the edges a little bit. They're quite happy. So the radiator is actually getting here. It's it's a lot tedious, but it's slowly getting to the point where if we put water back in this thing and, well, maybe you drive it because it's not got a clutch that works. So, big thank you for watching this video. It seems that the Rover videos are more popular than the Cess ones. Go figure, I think people know about Rover P6s and they know about Cess. That's fair enough. Hopefully next video will be me finalising all this stuff. I have got a video to make at some point in between those two, more of a catch-up layered down sort of video. Do you think a change around here since the first layered down video? I thought I might as well address those. Apart from that, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Cool. See you guys in the next one. See ya. Do I need to paint this radiator black to make it a bit less glary? It might hold down.